to the devil just for money to spew nonsense? I mean, and she's never happy, okay? Never. RBF, this is what I call it. I think President Trump knows what I'm talking about.
What would you say to the survivors who feel like they haven't gotten justice?
You are the worst reporter. No wonder CNN has no ratings because of people like you. You know, she's a young woman. I don't think I've ever seen you smile. I've known you for 10 years. I don't think I've ever seen a smile on your face.
Well, I'm asking you about survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's,
You know why you're not
Mr. President?
smiling? Because you know you're not telling the truth.
He's great, isn't he? She's not. And I never do see her smile, by the way. RBF. I'm not going to say it on TV. You figure it out. Ask your teenager if you don't know. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stinchfield's Army rolls because of all of you. We will see you here tomorrow night. My podcast, check that out, 12 p.m. Eastern Time on Rumble's the best place to.
If your TV sounds funny in the evening, you're watching live from Studio 6B on Real America's Voice.
All right, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice, 8 o'clock on the East Coast, February 4th. Glad you're in, everybody. Lots to talk about tonight. Hope you had a great day. Slick Rick's here. He's going to do some sports. Rick Delgado's got some headlines. Paulin Nolan is here. He's got some news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Slickster, how are you?
I'm doing good, Big D.
How was your day?
Very good. Busy, long day, but good. Good, productive day.
What did you do?
Well, I had a big meeting this morning with 50 other chambers of commerce on Long Island, Suffolk County. And
Did you show them your dancing video?
No, I didn't. I sent it to one of the guys in the band, though. He loved it. One of the guys that was on stage, one of my friends.
Okay.
No, I did not get into that. But they were, of course, my clothes and everything. But it was good.
Course.
Great meeting, though. And my good friend Anthony Piccarello became the presiding officer of the Suffolk County Legislature. So he's the big guy in Suffolk County government. I love Anthony. Real fiscal conservative. Really wants to get money for small business and stop letting all these big corporations come into Long Island and get all these tax abatements. And man, he's fire, this young man. But it was funny because he said, "I've known me so long that when I was president of the chamber, he just was able to vote. Now he's about 40-something years old. He was 18. So 25 years as president. It's a long time in his lifespan. But he's a good kid.
All right, very good. Anything exciting coming up in sports tonight?
Well, we got a lot of stuff. First of all, the president's going to sit down with NBC. Rick's got a couple of clips. I got that story for the Super Bowl interview, which he customarily is done every year. We're looking forward to that. Nike got a little trouble being under investigation about some illegal labor with white folks, no less. So we're going to check on that as well. And, we got big lawsuits, too. We got, DK Metcalf got a big lawsuit for that Lions fan that's suing him. And so we got a lot coming on.
All right, very good. Slick will have sports. Of course, sports brought to you by Mike Lindell. Mr. Delgado, how are you?
I'm okay for now, but if I start screaming like a sissy later, then it's because I did a very heavy leg workout. And if you were watching the show, I think it was Friday, right? Right, Aaron? Where I disappeared off camera for a while because my leg cramped up?
Yes, I thought you were dying.
Yeah, you thought she thought I was having a heart attack.
Oh, that was Friday night show?
Yeah.
I missed that.
All of
I
a
would have
sudden
been
he
pulling
was
your
gone
leg.
and almost on the floor.
Okay.
It was a little nuts.
Yeah, so if I start to seize or scream, then you'll know I'm having a cramp.
Maybe you need some Fit King air compression sleeves, too.
Ooh,
that I just got my dad.
Order me a set.
Okay. Paul Nolan's here. Mr. Nolan, how are you?
I need to Fit Kings for the whole body. I need to feel like I'm
You can't compress your
head
waist.
down, head to toe.
I've come to the realization, I always was hard on myself, just keep the weight down. And, people are like, oh, you look fine. Now people are like, you're going to be okay.
That's rough.
It's
a little change, so. All right, lots to talk about here on a Wednesday night, but let's start as we always do with tonight's first word. So today, you'll be all right, Paul. So today I thought we'd start a series of first words, same fire, same clarity, same unapologetic defense of American prosperity. But let's do it right back to the Republicans. Let's give them some ideas, folks, because, the midterms, They're coming up, and it's time for Republicans to stop playing defense on the economy and start swinging for the fences. For millions of Americans, the cost of living isn't some abstract graph on CNN. It's a daily kick in the gut. Rent through the roof, grocery prices make you wonder if you need a second mortgage just for bread and milk, energy bills that look like telephone numbers, and taxes. State income taxes that hit you every single paycheck like a mugger in a back alley. And where do you feel it the worst? In the same blue states year after year after year. California, New York, New Jersey, Illinois. Meanwhile, in places like Florida, Texas, Tennessee, states that say no thanks to broad personal income taxes, people are moving in by the millions. Jobs are booming, wages are rising, and life is actually affordable. This isn't coincidence, folks. This is policy. This is the difference between freedom and punishment. And Republicans have a golden opportunity right now, heading into the 2026 midterms, to stop whining about Biden-Harris inflation still hanging around and start offering the one big, bold reform that would supercharge President Trump's economic legacy. How about we abolish state income taxes everywhere? That's right. Why don't Republicans run on eliminating the state income tax, not tweaking it, not cutting it a little, abolishing it? Because when you do, you sharpen the contrast between red state success and blue state failure so brightly that even the mainstream media can't really hide from it. Look at the numbers. They speak for themselves, and these aren't from some conservative think tank. These come straight from the White House Council of Economic Advisors and federal data. The 9 states with no broad personal income tax, 5 of them are in the top 10 for GDP growth, 4 in the top 10 for net domestic migration. People are voting with their feet, and they're running, not walking, away from high tax hellholes in all these blue states. California lost another 300,000 plus residents last year. New York, New Jersey, bleeding population. And who's leaving? Not the folks on welfare. It's the high earners, the entrepreneurs, the innovators, the very people who create the jobs and drive the growth. They can work anywhere now, and they're choosing freedom. Why? Because income taxes are the most destructive taxes that we have. They punish work, they punish success, they punish risk-taking. Economists called it dead weight loss. Every dollar you take in income tax kills more economic activity than a dollar in sales or property tax. Raise rates and people work less. Invent less, start fewer businesses. One study showed a single percentage point increase in top marginal rates cuts patenting real innovation by 4%. 4%! That's inventors packing up and moving to Texas. Now, of course, the left will do what they always do, and that's scream things like, but how are you going to pay for roads and pay for your schools? Easy. Replace it with broader consumption taxes that exempt groceries, housing, rent, and business investment, the essentials families need. The CEA modeled this exact scenario. The results? State GDP up 1 to 1.6%. Average wages up nearly $4,000 per worker. New business formation up 16 to 19%. That's not theory, that's math. And look at the real world proof we already have. States President Trump carried in 24 had average inflation of 2.5%. Harris states, 3%. In big metro areas, the gap was even wider, 1.9% in Trump metro versus 3% in Harris metros. Housing inflation, 2.3% in Trump areas, 3.9% in Harris areas. Moody's says roughly 23 states, mostly blue, are either in recession or at high risk. California and New York, the Democratic crown jewels that make up over a fifth of the entire U.S. economy, are barely growing. Red states, booming. Folks, this is the choice in 2026. Republicans need to hammer it every single day. Do you want an America where work is rewarded, risk is encouraged, and prosperity compounds? Or do you want an America where success is punished, innovation flees, and opportunity dies on the vine? Abolishing state income taxes isn't radical, it's common sense. It's pro-worker, it's pro-family. And it would finally let President Trump's economic agenda, tax cuts, deregulation, energy dominance, work everywhere, not just in the states that are smart enough to get out of the way. Republicans, listen up. Run on this. Run hard, run loud, because the American people are ready for prosperity they can feel in their paychecks, not just hear about from some talking head on the news. This is where the rubber meets the road, my friends. The line between states that rise and states that decay. Between an economy that lifts all boats and one that drags down the whole country. Let's choose rising. Let's choose freedom. Let's abolish the state income tax and let America work again. And that's tonight's first word. Delgado, I'll give you first crack.
My first crack will come via text message, Damon, from my brother-in-law, former brother-in-law, but we still keep in touch. His name is Rich. He just left New York a few months ago and made his way back, or I should say made his way to Florida. And as he's hearing you talk about the tax situation, he just texted me first word, amen. Because that's what he's experiencing in Florida. He got away from the New York high taxes as he's getting ready for retirement, and he's taking advantage of the great climate, the great atmosphere that Governor DeSantis has created there in Florida.
Yeah, he's rich in so many ways now.
Yeah, no kidding. So. More people are doing this. I saw a friend of mine from high school. He just left California. A pretty red area too, near the coast, but he's hightailing it. He's having a house built in Tennessee. Why? Because they got to get away from these things. And I'm just looking at you, thinking, when are you taking the show south, David?
It's already going south. What are you talking about?
Let's see. My daughter's a junior, then she's a senior, then she's off to go. 2 years. That's when.
Tell her Florida's got some great schools.
He's not sending her to school in Florida.
No. I don't know.
They're going north, these people.
Can't upset her at this point in junior year.
No, let her figure it out.
Mr. Nolan?
Taxes theft. I mean, they could print it out of thin air. Why are they taxing us? It's a joke. It's a way to siphon off all your work, your labor, to keep you under their thumb. It's a joke. No man should work 6 months out of no person should work 6 months out of the a year for the government and the other 6 for your family. The whole thing's a disaster. We do not need it. Give us sovereign money, and this big sham goes away. And then they don't get to collude all the power. Great first word.
And I was just thinking about, I saw someone post some funny stuff, send us messages about the last couple of shows, me complaining nonstop about the Republican Party, which I've done for 11 years, if you've watched the show, not just 2 weeks or 2 shows. But I was thinking again, what's the vision for the Republican Party? What are the big issues? What are the big things that they're going to have vision on that they're going to go out there and talk about?
Yeah, wait for Trump's term to end and go back to business as usual. That's their big vision. That's all the rhinos care about.
And I have to tell you, I don't know, President Trump gave an NBC News exclusive today. Well, at least that's how NBC put it out. An interview with him. I think it's in the White House. It is in the White House. It's in the Oval, as I'm looking at it for the first time. And the first clip I see is it says, Trump, breaking news, Trump says he's now adjusting his mass deportations policy to only go into cities if the mayors or governors ask and say please, adding, this is Trump speaking, I don't want to go and force ourselves into a city, even if the numbers are terrible. What?
I believe that's him basically saying, you want them, you got them, deal with it. Right?
Got who? The criminals?
Yeah, you got the criminals, you got all this mayhem going on, you deal with it. Good luck. Have fun. Let us know when you need us. That's the way I take that.
Is that what people voted for? 13 past the hour. We'll discuss that. We'll watch that clip. When we get back, we'll get into some other news live from Studio 6B right after this.
about it, and you can Crystal. So you're gonna have some clips in your next segment.
Well, I won't do that until.
Yeah. And now
Chat. What is going on in the chat? Kentucky Hill Jill, Kitty 92, Helms 636, Connie Lou, Elaine Emmerich,
how do you do?
Barbara Knight, Snotty Scotty 1, Dana Wilkins.
I like that name.
Organic 1, Dave Syverson, Vivian from Michigan, Commander Mike.
Vivian from Michigan.
We used to do that roll call, so I knew where everybody was from. We should do that again. Where is everybody? Everybody should be putting where they're from. Check in every night with roll call.
That was a good thing.
Racing Banshee, Damon, hello. Farmers at the Phoenix Open. Nice.
Oh. Is he campaigning?
Yeah, exactly. Is he campaigning?
It's a write-off. November 4th. That's election day, right?
Rumble rant. Hey there, Fancy Pants is in the Rumble rant. That's
Fancy,
a new one. I
that's
haven't
my
heard that one
nickname.
before.
Fancy
Russ
Pants
Turner
is my nickname.
says, got to check out a book by Justin Atkins called The Next Big Crash. I don't think I'm ready for that.
People from everywhere: Minnesota, Ohio, Missouri, California, Phoenix.
Snotty Scotty 1.
We got to do the check-in every night. Please remind me to do that.
Kimberly
before we hit the
G.
air.
Why'd we get away from that? Like so many
I don't know
great
why.
things.
I just never asked for
We're
it.
getting a lot of it over in
I like
YouTube
where
chat,
I know
too.
where everybody's from.
Yeah.
Wyoming,
Matt from Montana.
Kentucky, Danita, Kentucky,
Joe Schmoes from Commie, Colorado.
Florida, Arizona, Missouri.
Joe Schmo.
Camping in New Mexico.
I love Joe Schmo.
Louisiana,
Joe Schmo loves you, Paul. He said, Paul's great.
Michigan,
Said that
Tennessee,
earlier. He loves you, Joe Schmo.
We're gonna get a
Florida,
six-pack and
Montana,
watch the football game.
Tennessee.
Organic One says moved from PA to Tennessee 9 years ago before all this nonsense.
Ohio, Florida, Tennessee.
Paid
Hershey,
$75K
Pennsylvania,
for a house on an acre worth of land.
Wow.
North
Anybody
Carolina,
from Mobile,
Kentucky, Ohio.
Alabama?
Can't even
might
get a
be
decent car for
looking at
$75K
land
anymore.
down in
Yeah.
Mobile.
Koozie. Piece of land.
It's cool to see like the reach. You never really stop and think about the reach of people watching this show.
Yeah, we got a half a dozen.
Hot
No, let's
Pursuit.
not push it.
It's over ambitious.
South Dakota, Southwest Missouri,
South Dakota coming in hot.
Pennsylvania, Tennessee,
Doesn't laugh at McGroin is in there.
Montana.
Don't
J
laugh.
Buck is in Eastlake, Ohio.
J-Buck coming in hot.
Kaywood is in Alabama.
Clam is in Texas. Who would have thought?
All my exes are in
We
Texas.
got Clint from Sedalia, Missouri. Gary,
I heard that song
Florida.
before. Right? Big, big.
Well, up 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Glad you're in on a Wednesday night. Slick's going to do sports. Delgado Nolan got news. Aaron and Friend holding it down as always. We'll get to everything. Well, let's just watch these two clips from this NBC exclusive from the White House, from the Oval Office. They sat down, somebody here from NBC News sat down with President Trump. And here's one of his answers that I was just referring to. And I'm really interested here if where people are at. Are they with Delgado? Let's listen to it and then we'll see where everybody's at. Here it is.
So I want to be clear because it sounds like there is a shift in immigration enforcement here, that there's going to be a shift after Minneapolis. What should Americans expect going forward?
Well, one thing I say to my people, we do a good job, we don't get credit for it. I say they have to ask and they have to say please. When a city is
Who
going
has to ask and who has
the
to say
mayor
please?
or the governor, I don't want to go and force ourselves into a city, even if their numbers are terrible. Like, for instance, I got a call from Jeff Landry, governor of Louisiana. He said, we have a big problem. Could you go in and help us with let's see, certain sections. I mean, to be honest with you, certain sections of the state, beyond their famous, beautiful city, certain sections of the state. We have done, not only in New Orleans, we've done a really great job in Louisiana, but I was called. I want to be called. Chicago, we could solve the Chicago crime.
Well, on that question, which cities are you headed to next?
We have 5 cities that we're looking at very strongly, but we want to be invited. We will sometimes call the governors. And
Are they cities like Chicago, Philadelphia? Are these the cities?
We could straighten out the crime in Chicago. We've already brought it down 25% just by being there. we could have Chicago be a safe city, just like D.C. is a safe city, just like all of these places that we've gone to. And I look forward. You know, I didn't campaign on that. Yeah. I campaigned on law and order, but I didn't think I'd be going into individual cities and making them safe.
Anything else you can tell us about the 5 cities? The 5 cities, anything else? So Americans are ready?
We'll be announcing them very quickly, but we could do something. As an example, I was called by people. San Francisco said, please, we have a Democrat mayor. He's trying very hard. Would you, friends of mine that live there, it's got crime problems. Would you let him do the job and not come in? Let's see how it works. I said, look, I can do it much quicker, much faster. Don't forget, we remove criminals. We took over 2,000 hardcore criminals out of Washington, D.C. If we didn't do that, 2% of the people create 90% of the crime. Think of that, 2%. So you have a criminal, because it's over and over again, 2% create 90% of the crime. We took out 2,000 people, more than 2,000 people out of Washington, D.C., and we now have a safe city.
Okay, so there's a little more context. There's the whole clip, 2 minutes and 24 seconds. So people voted for President Trump because we thought the biggest mass deportation effort in American history. Now, does the first part of that clip, now that's kind of, well, instead of just we're going after the biggest mass deportation in history and we're going everywhere, now we have to be invited, say please, and if you're a blue, of course, no blue governor or blue anything is going to ever ask because they want them all. They want to keep them all. It's their voting block. They're going to change the makeup of the country. Is that what we voted for, or is it now you feel like it's changed? Delgado?
I think it's a mix. I mean, it's exactly what we voted for, and he said it too, and he said it before. He wants to be invited in. He wants to be asked to come in and do the cleanup. If not, then if he sees it going south, then he'll take it upon himself, I think, to take those steps necessary that he thinks are needed to protect the American people. Is that a change? Hey, look, everything is dynamic, right? If you're going to sit there and be like, no, this is my hard line, I can't ever change, then you'll probably run into problems, and you won't get anything done. But we've seen what this president does. He shoots for the stars, but he takes home the moon. Meanwhile, the moon is what he wanted the whole time, right?
But isn't that get us to a point, though, where realistically what I've been complaining about red state governors are not being as aggressive in red state enforcement policies with immigration as blue state is in breaking federal law? Couldn't we just at that point then just say leave it to the individual governors to enforce to whatever level they want to in their state to, go after these people if they so-called? Florida can do it one way, Texas can do it another, and New York City can do and can welcome all in, and we're never going to go in there.
I think they're already doing that.
Yep.
Right? I mean, we don't hear about what's happening in other states for a reason, because they're all complying. They're all working with the ICE officials to get these people out. That's why you don't see what you see in Minneapolis around the country. And I think that's painfully obvious to the rest of the country. And you notice after last week, when he sent Holman in, everybody thought, oh, good, we got rid of the other guy, and you got Holman. You got the guy who's the granddaddy of this stuff. You didn't do better. You didn't go, oh, we got the weak guy to come in. No, you got the he's a tough mother. You know what?
Mac Daddy.
And he I feel like, and I think I said this last week, Damon, you weren't on the show. I feel like between the conversations Trump had with Waltz, Fry, and with Holman, I feel like they pulled those two aside and showed him the picture of their house. You know what he did to the to Putin and what he did to the guy from Afghanistan? Showed him a picture of their house. I don't know what that picture looked like, but all of a sudden you don't see these guys. You don't see Waltz. You don't see Fry tearing things up with the rhetoric, jumping out on TV every single day, 4 or 5 times a day, screaming about ICE. You just don't see it. Why? I think he showed them a picture of their house, and they backed off because Holman is talking like, hey, we're getting unprecedented help. I got a clip from him later we'll play.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm looking at other clips that are coming out of this interview. Him saying we need to take a softer touch with illegal immigrants, and he's saying, the reporter said, is your mission now to deport everyone who came in illegally? And I would have thought that would have been a one-word answer of yes. Instead, he said, we are totally focused on criminals, really bad criminals. Now, you could say people that came in illegally are criminals, but I'm talking about murderers from different countries. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what the reaction is to this interview from the clips I've seen here early on. They've only been out for about an hour. But I just can't see how conservatives are going to be happy with this interview at all. But this is supposed to be, this is classified as an invasion. It's not immigration. All of a sudden, now we sound like we're treating it as immigration. Like, well, you can stay there if they're okay with it. And Paul?
Well, for me, there's a couple things to address. One, the question comes down to is the midterms the most important thing? And if you're losing some public sentiment, I think you have to, live in this war of optics. And the problem with the war of optics is it's so skewed. He's playing on a tilted sheet of ice, and everything is leftist, an endless leftist affiliates constantly, pummeling his plan. Now, the border got closed, which is great. The criminals getting booted is great, but it comes down to, is the juice worth the squeeze when you see how mobilized all of these leftist radical organizations are, and they're growing. We're seeing what they've done with getting candidates like Mandami in there. The communist movement in America uses this as an excuse to mobilize. So I think for now, if you kind of like tone down the rhetoric, it's somewhat of a win. You get rid of the criminals. You put it in a binary question of, to these blue state people, hey, you want the violent people there? No problem. Let the crime soar. And let the people stand up and say, we can't have this. Make the cities unlivable. Yeah. Let it work out the way it does. To me, I'm okay with backing off for now. When it comes to politics, when it comes to business, sometimes you got to lose a battle to win a war. And there is times where you want to simply just, no problem. You got it. This is what you want. No problem. Let it unfold. After the midterms, I would like to see him go head take it head on.
Yeah. Balls to the wall.
Balls to the wall.
Balls to the wall.
Balls to the wall.
Balls to the wall. So I'm okay with, when it comes to just strategic playing this. Keeping that border closed is huge. Getting rid of the animals, huge. Letting the blue cities self-destruct, not so bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what you voted for.
I'm definitely not on board with the two of you, but that's fine. County Commissioner, Lake County, Florida, District 1, Republican Anthony Sabatini is out with his first reaction to the clips. What in the actual F is this? This is going to go down as the single largest betrayal in the history of the United States. Oh. That would be the first one I found, and I guess we'll go from there. Live from Studio 6B. We'll do some sports news. Back right after this.
I don't even want to know the chat. We're probably getting killed, Delgado.
Huh? No, we're not. Makes sense.
I don't know. For me, I just want to win the midterms. I can't see what this administration will look like if we get pummeled.
Let's get ready to get pummeled.
I mean, I don't know.
Gary, yes. Damon giving Paul the trunk look.
The what look?
The trunk look.
In other words, spare me. As in spare tire. The trunk.
Are you out of your ever-loving mind? I can just tell you, this is going to go over like a fart.
Paul, you better call a locksmith.
In conservative social media.
You know what? I think
so.
Moderates are so in play right now. We got to keep the moderates. That's and like I said, the media mind F that constantly gets after everybody in their news feed and the bot farms. I mean, it's bad. I mean,
every poll is overwhelmingly supportive of getting rid of every illegal. Why soften your stance? I did a whole first word on this like 3 weeks ago.
I know, but you see how they're mobilizing these cities?
You're softening your stance for now.
But now.
It doesn't mean anything for later.
Right. Rhonda Clark in the YouTube chat says, Damon always takes everything at face value.
Well, what does that mean?
I don't know.
In other words, you got to play it like a politician, Damon.
Yeah.
He's got to figure out, like Paul was saying, it's
Cats and health says we're not going to win the
Damon is a
midterms.
politician.
So if we lose the midterms, it's going to be impeachment after impeachment, and everything's going to get undone. And it's so if you can lose the moderates, you guarantee you're losing the midterms, right?
Kitty 92's in Florida. Robin MTN in Montana.
What's up, Jersey girl?
Sugarland, Texas, checking in. GWW 9547.
Joe Ball says balls to the wall.
Sergeant Arby's in Washington State. Ordinary Passengers in Hershey, PA. Kelly Tyler is in Oregon.
Turnpike Man's got my back. I got to get over to the Rumble chat next.
Snotty Scotty.
Well, guys, hit the like button for us, please.
Like and share. We
stopped asking Bea to do it, and it's been going down. So,
hey there, Fancy Pants is in Topeka. You hear that, Slick?
Fancy Pants is actually my nickname. The guys that own the Irish pub, they call me Ricky Fancy Pants. They do. Oh, Ricky Fancy Pants.
That's a
true story.
Do you walk in doing that dance?
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Slick Scott Sports, what's going on, Slickster?
BD, I think we saw a little touch of that last interview on the story that's coming up right here now. President Trump to sit down for a Super Bowl interview with NBC Nightly News. Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart. President Trump will not be attending Super Bowl 60 in person, but that doesn't mean the millions watching won't see him. The president will sit for an interview with NBC Nightly News anchor Tom Lamas during the Super Bowl pregame show. The interview will air on both NBC and Peacock. According to NBC, the segment that appears before the Super Bowl will be part of a longer, wide-ranging interview taped on Wednesday at the White House, awful announcing reports. A portion of the interview will air on NBC Nightly News with Tom Lamas at 6:30, and an extended version will stream on Top Story with Tom Lamas on NBC Now at 7 p.m. Well, many have speculated that Trump decided not to attend the Super Bowl because the NFL chose anti-ice rapper Bad Bunny to perform the halftime show. Trump insists distance was the primary factor. However, he's certainly no fan of Bad Bunny. No surprise there, right? The tradition of presidents conducting interviews before the Super Bowl has continued almost uninterrupted for over 20 years. Notably, President Trump himself declined an interview on NBC News back in 2018. In some instances, sportscasters have conducted the interviews, and those conversations have remained relatively lighthearted. The fact that NBC Nightly News anchor will conduct this weekend's interview makes signal that it will take on more of a serious tone. And that's pretty much the story on that, Big D. So that should be interesting. I think Rick has some clips he's going to have in an upcoming segment as well, a little bit more background on this story. But President Trump, indeed, and you called it, Big D. You thought he was going to do it last week. You said he was going to be on. So that may be the best part of the Super Bowl, because I'm not sure how good a game we're going to get, and we sure as hell aren't going to get a good halftime show unless we watch Kid Rock and Turning Point USA's performance right here on America's Voice, Real America's Voice. So I'm excited about that. And one more story.
What do you mean you don't think we're going to get a good game?
I don't know if we're going to get a good game with that. I think Seattle might roll that game. I really think it's going to be a roll.
Everybody's saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That could be all the reason Damon's going to be putting heavy money on the Patriots.
I'm going to follow Damon on
Erin's thinking about betting them too, I think. She's rolling. I don't think Erin could bet the Patriots. I'm like, well, we'll see. Odds makers coming up. Big odds makers Friday night at the warehouse. It's going to be something. We're going to have how many different prop bets? We got to have a couple of prop bets too, right, Big D? You going to work a few?
150.
150, Erin. Here you go.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
2 hours of prop bets.
No, we're going to pick side. We're going to pick total in your top
over under
5 prop bets.
Okay, we should do over under, and then
have all 5 prop bets as one pick.
Right.
Yeah, we have to do an over under for Paul.
Bad Bunny wears a dress, yes or no?
So you mean a parlay, Damon?
Gatorade color.
Gatorade color.
No, Delgado. No need.
Oh yeah, you're really good at those, Rick.
BS parlays.
Delgado.
The pre-made ones.
All right, what else, Slick?
All right. Well, Equal Employment Agency launches investigation into Nike for anti-white discrimination. This is Elizabeth Wiebel of Breitbart. Well. That's right, Paul. The Equal Opportunity Employment Commission, EEOC, another acronym, just what we needed, has launched an investigation into Nike over allegations of discrimination against against white employees and applicants, according to multiple reports. In a motion filed by the EEOC on Wednesday, the agency revealed that it was seeking information directly relevant to the allegations that Nike subjected white employees, applicants, and training program participants to disparate treatment based on race in various employment decisions, the New York Times said. The motion filed on Wednesday reportedly seeks to force Nike to comply with a subpoena from September, according to the outlet. The EEOC seeks information directly relevant to the allegations that Nike subjected white employees, applicants, and training program participants to, it's the same thing. I'm sorry, I read the same thing twice. I don't know why. For the outlet, the investigation into Nike's alleged discrimination of white employees and applicants comes as the company has been going through a difficult time and is trying to recover after strategic missteps in recent years left it in a long sales rut. So apparently Nike's having a problem, if you can believe that one. The scrutiny comes at a difficult time for Nike, the world's largest athletic wear company. In 2021, Nike represented a 5-year plan for a more diverse workforce. Management tied some executive compensation to diversity objectives, which included representation for women in leadership positions and a target of 35% representation of racial minorities in its U.S. workforce. CNN reported that EEOC said it's requesting information from Nike going back to 2018 over race-based work representation quotas. So in other words, they had to go out and hire more diversity, and obviously the white people got the back seat, so to speak, and the agency is looking into this, so I think it's a good situation. They filed the enforcement action after Nike failed to voluntarily provide all the information required by the subpoena, according to the outlet. So we'll follow the story. It just broke today, and we'll see how this goes, Big D. But Nike, no surprise to many of us, may be on the clock for something wrongdoing and racially motivated.
Okay, very
That's
good.
a wrap in sports.
All right, very good. I just found this. And this is from their official channel, Kamala Headquarters, official channel.
There is one.
Put this up, Aaron. Look at this. Kamala HQ, password, no good. The babysitter is weird, no good. Project 2025 was real, no good. Headquarters, logging you in tomorrow. Little announcement tomorrow from the former vice president, maybe?
Maybe she's being unburdened by something.
She's going to be unburdened to come back and try again?
Oh, God.
Maybe
kind of a little early, isn't it?
Program.
A little early for that announcement.
Maybe she probably needs some money.
Either that or maybe she's doing more interviews at McDonald's like we saw yesterday.
Yeah. That was a good
really?
one. That was a good one. So,
could you imagine if we had to listen to her voice this whole time?
Oh, my God. How many Venn diagrams can we handle?
Paul Nolan's got some news here quickly. Not quickly. We got plenty of time. Paul, what's going on, Paul?
Well, Haktua Jeffries and Schmucky Duma were talking about judicial warrants and face masks and the deployment of ICE agents and the Fourth Amendment. And, well, let their stupidity talk for themselves. Let it go. Roll it.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, the speaker's already rejected two of your demands, judicial warrants and removing face masks. So if that's still his position, will you vote to shut the government down, shut the Department of Homeland Security down if he sticks to that position?
Mike Johnson and John Thune rejected the notion that the 6 appropriations bills should be divided. They rejected that notion. And I'm thankful for what Leader Schumer and Senate Democrats did, which is to draw a line in the sand and say, no, it's not going to go down that way. And that's why we're at this moment. So understand something. We get it over in the House. Mike Johnson and John Thune aren't working for the American people. They work for Donald Trump. And so many of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, they function like a wholly owned subsidiary of the Trump cartel. So at the end of the day, Trump understands that the public is not with the administration's cruel and chaotic policies here, and that we actually need to restore law and order as it relates to how we proceed. And we're ready to proceed in good faith.
Are those red lines for you? Are those red lines for you?
Mike Johnson has articulated unreasonable positions. He's actually supporting the notion that mass and lawless ICE agents should be deployed in communities throughout America. That's Mike Johnson's position. That's contrary to what the American people believe should be taking place. Mike Johnson called the Fourth Amendment an inconvenience. It's not an inconvenience. It's part of the fabric and DNA of our country. Just like the First Amendment, yes, even the Second Amendment, the 10th Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, we're standing up for all of these constitutional privileges that have been part of who we are since the very beginning.
Look at Chuck
as we celebrate our 250th birthday. Chuck?
I'm just going to say, we're sending them a proposal, and we await their response. But I think the American people are going to be amazed.
Whatever reptile.
The speaker says
what is
that
the point
these
of
secret
this?
police should continue to roam around in our cities.
Look at Count Dracula over there. Look, this is the same guy who was, telling us 15 years ago that illegals are a bane on society and they're taken away from his constituents.
But of course, here's the issue. The issue is, why not take this line? Why not now go on the offensive? The Republicans just signed into law Biden-level spending. They've taken all their leverage off the table. So if you're the Democrats, why not take this position now? What are the Republicans going to do? They're not going to hold anything over your head to get funding for ICE or anything or whatever, They have no leverage, so why not? They're gonna find their narrative like they always do, whether it's the shutdown or whether it's spending bills, and now it's going to be ICE and it's going to be why not? And now you have the president saying, well, maybe we need to take a softer touch. And they're going, yep, see, told you. That's going to be their narrative. And why shouldn't it be? They always have to find a bad guy. And they're going to find the bad guy easily. It's all the Republicans and the president. And then they're going to point to their behavior, and they're going to go, you see, do you think he's doing it? They realize how bad it was. They realize how they violated every law under the sun. Now they're softening their stance. Now they're only going to go after criminals. They're not going after the poor family with the 2 kids anymore like they were doing because they knew that was wrong. And you, the public, you don't like this.
Damon, I feel like you really believe him.
Well, why wouldn't you do that?
Because
if you're them?
Hakeem Jeffries is a stone cold liar.
It's not about. It's not about being a liar.
It is about being a liar.
It is about being a liar. It's going out there and lying.
Yes, they're going out there and lying.
There's too many people who believe it.
Exactly. That's why we're here talking about it, to point out that, hey, this guy is lying.
Too many people believe that ICE is going into houses and slaughtering 5-year-olds or
arresting 5-year-olds,
children in schools.
Right.
I watch a lot of the leftist propaganda, and it's effective. I put something on my X page, 10 complete lies that made it all through CNN and New York Times and all the mainstream liberal slop. People are buying it.
You know why? And you know why they're buying it? Because the media is parroting it. They don't push back. They don't call them out. They don't challenge them the way the media is supposed to, because they're all in bed together.
But they've never done that.
No, they used to do it. But it turned about 20 plus years ago, where it seriously turned during the Clinton administration.
2012 was over. 2008 it began. 2012 it was done.
It actually started during the Clinton administration. Actually, probably even before that, because remember,
the social engineering program in America started in 2008 and went into full programming in 2012. I mean, I forgot the name of the operation, but there's always been media bias. But CNN in 1996, you could actually watch it. What we saw in the last 14 years has been an absolute nightmare, an abject disaster, a divide and conquer like sorcery.
But again, my question was to you guys, why would you not take this tact if you're him and them?
What do you think helps him win a midterm better? Taking a softer stance or a harder stance?
The Democrats?
No, I'm talking about
I'm talking about them, though. I'm talking about what he just did there. Why not take that line?
Well, that's always been their line, right?
There's
always been their line is to make you believe, up is down, wet is dry, black is white. That has been that is how they operate. And they do it all the time because they know they have the low information voter who just reads a headline and goes, yeah, and that's it. That's all they do. They don't get past the headline because that's all they needed to stroke that fire. And of course, that's who they're talking to. When you have a media that carries the water for them constantly and just keeps publicizing
No, they're talking to independents, too. They're talking to people who are on the fence of what's going on. They're talking to a lot of different people.
Yeah, and I go back to Paul's, what was that CIA thing where the guy just kind of got along to get along.
Oh yeah,
with
the
group.
Ash experiment.
Yeah, the Ash experiment. This is all psychological.
That's why they keep repeating the same lie over and over and over until they're like, oh, it's got to be it.
All right, 43 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. We're back right after this.
Said it. He's ruining the record industry. He cost them
years ago
billions
he did.
when he created that symbol.
Yep.
Like he was so far ahead of the game, and he was intelligent.
Yeah, that was late 90s.
Yeah, but that was
and
a
he
while
like
ago.
really was that
30 years ago.
Yeah, and a lot of people
30
talk
years
about
ago.
him being whacked by just corporate marauders, so to speak, because he really was, a problem for the bottom line. Is that?
Yeah.
You don't think so?
And listen, I've been close to it. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think
you
there's
just
any.
think the drugs got to him.
I just think honestly, I think they bought Chinese, tainted stuff, and he took the bottle and took the wrong thing, and it just took too much. It was 112 pounds. You could easily OD on anything at 112 pounds.
All right, I'd rather.
Yeah, I heard that, and listen, I vetted through all that, and there's still a lot of people that think that, but it's not that I don't want to believe it. I just don't believe it. I don't want to believe it either, but I don't believe it.
I'd rather it's self-inflicted than foul play.
Now, Carver County, they did a good job out over there. They really vetted through everything. He had a guy who was getting help. Unfortunately, the guy had a lot of pain from dancing splits and legs and all that, and he got involved with, he got hooked on what else? Fentanyl. And I really think he bought they gave him like a bottle online. They bought from China. It wasn't correctly calibrated. And, I spent a couple of years in pharmacy. I really believe that's what it was. He took the wrong pill, laced with other crap, and this is what you're seeing. All these deaths.
Again?
What's that?
What year was it again?
It was 2016, April 21st. 10:07 a.m. He was declared dead.
I keep forgetting that was your background.
Yeah, 33 years I spent in that world. I learned a lot, boy. Yeah. And what I forgot, most people are still learning in school. I hate to say it, but it's true. Long run with that business.
Oh, boy, I'm so
Everybody in the Twix. Dave Syverson.
Big D, they're asking about your dad. Bill Moore in the YouTube chat was asking how your dad's doing. Any updates on that? Or
He's doing good.
Good.
He's doing good. Went back to the hospital today to get some things checked, make sure there was nothing else going on. And, every day on the road.
Good news.
Kit Kat. Dale Thomas, Donita, 417 Raiders. Somebody wants us to have a dance-off, Slick. Who was it? Dave Syverson.
Let's go. Come on down to the warehouse. We'll get it on right on the stage. Big D will be spinning the music. No, Vin will play the piano. We'll dance to the sting.
We'll do it for a Farmer Brook campaign event.
Hey, that could be.
We'll raise money for.
We'll probably lose money, but it's okay.
They'll pay us not to do it.
Yeah. Whatever it takes.
Who that? Tumbleweed Farmer, Vivian in Michigan. Kentucky Hill Jill.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B. Slick's doing sports. Paul Nolan's going to do some more stories. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. And, of course, you live from Studio 6B audience, wherever you're watching, Rumble, X, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Kick, Getter, wherever you're watching. We appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Follow the channel. Engage with the channel. That's what we want. Comment. Let us know where you're watching from. We always love that. Let's do some headline news. Rick Delgado's got it. What's going on, Delgado?
All right, Damon. Well, this one broke this morning. I don't know if you saw it. As the man who plotted to assassinate President Donald Trump in his Florida golf course, Ryan Routh, convicted in September of trying to kill then President Trump, today was sentenced to life in prison plus 7 years. According to journalists in the courtroom, Judge Aileen Cannon handed down the sentence of life plus 7 years after a 90-minute hearing, saying it was to to protect the public from future crime committed by Routh. Routh was arrested on September 15th of 2024 after the Secret Service agents saw the barrel of a gun poking through the bushes at the perimeter of the West Palm Beach golf course where Trump was playing around ahead of the November election. The agent opened fire on Routh, who fled to a vehicle and was arrested shortly thereafter. The sentencing, it was a culmination of the trial that featured Routh representing himself despite no legal training. And, he couldn't ask for a happier ending to a terrible story as this guy, this dirtbag, this CIA asset probably gets life in prison. We'll see how long he lasts, because I don't know if they want him in there too long with his gums flapping. They were talking about this with Kash Patel, but also on Fox News. Brett Baer was talking about this and also asked Kash Patel what we don't know about the other shooter. We're talking about the shooter in Butler. Here is cut number 5. And he brings up a great point because we still don't know a lot about this. Cut number 5. Check this out.
I mean, I don't think we, the public, have a more robust picture of that shooter.
Well, I think that's an unfair supposition. We, the FBI, have put out all the information that we possibly and legally can while protecting any ongoing matters that are unrelated.
But he's dead.
Well, yes, he's very much dead. But at the same time, Brett, we at the FBI have to follow the parameters of our investigation and what the law allows us to release.
I get it, but what were the cell phones? Why don't we know who he was talking to? What exactly happened? I feel like we haven't gotten the whole picture about Butler even now.
But here's the thing, Brett. We can provide, and just an example here, we've provided 40,000 pages of documents to Congress. That's a 400% increase from the prior two directors. We will continue to provide this information with our partners on Capitol Hill when we are legally able. It's never going to be enough for everyone. It's never going to be enough. But what we are saying is we're not saying trust us. We're saying we did an exhaustive search of that. We presented that information to the Department of Justice, and a decision was made on what to release.
Yeah, which was to release nothing, and we have no information because this is probably a little bit deeper than anybody wants to admit.
Well, I mean, the president of the United States was asked about this months ago, and he said he was happy with what they've done so far on the case and what he's been told. He said, or maybe he used the word satisfied. I have to go back and look. I mean, if the president wanted this, I mean, I would think the president could be as aggressive with his FBI director as he wanted to, since it's about him, to get this more out into the public or more information to the public if he felt that's what he wanted to do, and it was there. But I think he was asked, I mean, again, I'll go back and look, but I'm pretty sure he was asked about this quite some time ago now. More time has passed, and we know nothing. And he said, I think he used the word, he was satisfied. So.
Who do you think, Ryan Routh was intelligentsia? Do you believe he was part of a community, an intelligence community that answers to a different group of leadership?
You're asking me?
Yeah, of course.
I have no idea. No, I wouldn't think that.
You just think he's a random guy who's just had Trump's arrangement?
I mean, I would lean towards that, yeah.
Okay.
Lee Harvey Oswald?
Yeah, unfortunately, his background doesn't really hold up to that kind of scrutiny. When you talk about...
Well, what holds up to what kind of scrutiny? We don't know anything.
All his trips back and forth to Afghanistan, a new house in Hawaii.
He had CIA credentials. He's been CIA in the past. He was recruiting people for the the Ukrainian war. Mm-hmm. I mean, this guy was connected to so many different agencies. Some of his funding came from communist organizations. This guy was really politically juiced up. Yeah. And to be able to park yourself on the side of the golf course with to snipe a president? I don't know, man. It doesn't sound like TDS to me. That sounds like operative mercenary. But, I'm just a tinfoil hat wearing meathead.
Exactly.
Thank God for that Secret Service agent. Man, he is a hero.
Anyhow, as we jump over to New York City, Damon, check this out. As Mamdani That's Mayor Mamdani to you and me. The communist mayor of New York City is calling on the district attorney not to prosecute the man shot by police during an alleged knife attack. So the guy attacks police with a knife and gets shot. But, of course, Mayor Mamdani comes to his rescue. He said yesterday he does not believe that the Queens district attorney should prosecute a mentally ill man who was shot by police as he allegedly ran towards the officers with a knife. It's not alleged. If you watch the video, because there is a video of this, you'll see the guy come at the police with a knife. Jabiz Chakraborty was holding a large chicken knife and charged at officers who responded to an emergency call from the family on January the 26th. NYPD officials said the officers repeatedly told him to drop it as they attempted to de-escalate the situation before one officer fired several shots, striking Chakraborty, who was then taken to the hospital in critical condition. Here is cut number one. Here's what you voted for, New York. You're getting it good and hard. Here is Mayor Mamdani. Cut number one. Check this out.
And as you said, I spoke with the Chakraborty family, and I visited Chavez in the hospital. And there is no family
in the hospital
should have to endure this kind of pain.
Now here's the video.
Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Move! Put the knife down!
6.
Put the knife down! Put the knife down!
8 times he told the guy to put the knife down. But there you go, in New York City, your mayor running to the bedside of the criminal who attacked police with a large kitchen knife, I should say.
A large chicken?
Yeah, a large chicken and a knife.
Yeah.
He had things in both hands.
The buck stops here.
After him with
by the way, back to the Trump thing for just a second. Two things. Number one, I think you guys are talking about the guy at the golf course. I was talking about the picture they put up, I think is the shooter in Butler.
But weren't they talking about Ryan Routh was the one who got sentenced? Yeah.
Ryan Routh. That's the guy at the golf course.
Yeah, that's the little kid.
Well, Brett Baer, when he was asked to put up the picture of the kid in Butler, I think.
Right. He did.
And that's
So I was talking about the kid in Butler. That case, that was the one President Trump was asked about and said, I'm satisfied.
Right, and that's the one that actually has even more questions to it because, again, you go back to the multiple cell phones.
Right.
And the overseas...
here's my second question.
Yeah.
So according to you guys, since you think, I guess it's so easy to put this all together, do you think that Trump and Cash have put it all together and then just hiding it from everybody?
Well, so
I don't think they're telling him everything.
You know,
Cash is keeping it from him, or they both know and they're just like, we're not going to let anybody know?
He said he presented it to the Department of Justice, and who knows where it goes from there.
I just think the intelligence agencies have way more juice than the FBI, really, and Kash Patel, but more so any sitting president and any leader. These intelligence agencies have, they have black operative, mercenary groups. They can just pay these contractors. I mean, these guys are pros. I just don't think, and they're under the radar and above the law. To me, it's been going on forever. We've seen it we've seen presidents get whacked. I think you're underestimating the power of CIA, Mossad,
so it's beyond,
MI6.
it's above Cash, I mean. So
I think
it's not
it's
that Cash and Trump are not together and they know all the details and they're just not saying anything. You think it's even above Cash?
I think it's way above Cash.
Okay. Gotcha.
Wow.
All right, let's take a break. That's our wrap on hour 1, hour 2 coming back.
Fast.
That's 1 hour?
That's fast. Watchtower.
Can you give me sound on my...
That was Watchtower, wasn't it?
Delgado, you got an admirer in the YouTube chat.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
On behalf of our family,
Damon's playing something.
we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy.
Oh, is that Savannah?
We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too. Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She's funny, spunky, and clever. She has grandchildren that adore her and crowd around her and cover her with kisses. She loves fun and adventure. She is a devoted friend. She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
The light is missing from our lives. Nancy is our mother. We are her children. She is our beacon. She holds fast to joy in all of life's circumstances. She chooses joy day after day. Despite having already passed through great trials of pain and grief, we are always going to be merely human, just normal human people who need our mom. Mama, if you're listening, we need you to come home. We miss you.
Our mom is our heart and our home. She's 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated.
When I'm not bartending, I'm watching live from Studio 6B, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m.
Mixed up.
All right, hour 2, 9 o'clock, live from Studio 6B. We were just in the break where Savannah Guthrie has now put out a video, her sister, and her brother, about their mother, who I guess now is, what is this, day 4 or 5?
Day fourth day.
Fourth day.
Missing for the fourth day. Media outlets are reporting they're receiving ransom letters.
Besides it being absolutely heartbreaking, gut-wrenching to watch.
Gut-wrenching.
If I put the emotional part aside, it does seem that there's got to be a reason they're putting this out. It would seem to me that maybe they think there's some lead on a trail or something, or they think that maybe she's still alive, right, and they're making some headway and maybe trying to figure out where she is, because they say in this video that we hear, like all of you, that there might be a ransom note, and she says, "We are ready to talk."
Yeah.
I mean, that's very specific language. She says, we need to know without a doubt, though, that she is alive and you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please reach out to us. Oof.
Yeah, on the way in tonight, I heard of an FBI investigator talking about this, saying that the police there are releasing very few details, which means they're keeping a lot of stuff close to the vest, and that if these ransom notes are true, then what this is a request for proof of life, basically.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, well, it's just gut-wrenching story. Yeah. That's out there. She just put it out about 37 minutes ago or so.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah, and it said the police descended again on the sister's house yet again.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And I don't know why. They didn't offer any insight into that.
Oh, it's an investigation. They're not going to probably.
So.
Yeah. All right. Well, our thoughts and prayers are well. We hope I really hope they find her. I really hope they find her.
And alive and in good condition.
Yeah, because according to this as well, 24 hours would be a long time for her to be off medication. It's now 4 days.
Yeah.
So you can imagine what this poor woman could be going through.
Yeah. All right, let's do some news with Paul Nolan, then we'll do some sports with Slick Rick. James O'Keefe, Paul, what's he up to these days?
James O'Keefe has some good undercover video again, and talking about, an FBI official admits that Kash Patel's not going to do anything. Basically said he was lazy and said that no one's going to go to jail, and no charges will likely go through. It's cut 3. Let's roll it, and we'll discuss it.
He's like a diva. Is that 110% he's a diva. Are you serious? 110%. He's lazy as hell. He's not good at his job.
I've said that if arrests do not happen, if people are not held to account, then we'll have no choice but to investigate the investigators themselves.
I am a security specialist at the FBI, so I do background checks, investigations, that type of stuff. I've been working there for 5 years now.
On hidden camera, this FBI security specialist tells us the quiet part out loud.
So you don't think there's going to be any major arrests with Kash Patel or the FBI?
No. Also, I don't think anybody would ever go to prison.
Wow.
What else is new? I mean, does that shock anybody that somebody from the government says nobody's going to arrest somebody from the government? So we'll see what happens. The fraud is just getting worse and worse. And it's just, you're doing your taxes, everyone's filling them out, and you're thinking, what nefarious program is my money going to? I sure would like to buy my kid G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip, but no, I'm going to buy a Somali daycare center and not get a piece of the action. So tired of it. It's just so infuriating. So,
I mean, worse than that, if it can be worse than that, is if God forbid, there's going to be at some point another Democratic administration. God forbid they ever hold all 3 again. I mean, you think the last 4 years was bad. They get away with it. And nobody pays any price for anything they did to President Trump, to conservatives around the country. You think the last 4 years was bad?
I mean, think about us.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
We all get debanked. What happens next time around when they're fully emboldened?
Yeah.
Oof. I mean, we're barely, it's not like, we're making huge waves. Can't post on Facebook. What's next? They debank you. What do you do? How do you deal with society without being able to bank? So I don't know, man. I think these midterms are so important. Well, I know they are. It's an understatement, but I'm just, I don't know. I just want to see him just do whatever he has to do to get, through this. And then after, all I care is drop a hammer on everybody.
5 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Slickster, what's going on?
Okay, Detroit Lions fan files $100 million defamation suit against Steelers DK Metcalf and others.
What was that? Shoot for the moon and settle for the stars?
Yeah.
Or shoot
for the stars, settle for the moon.
Here you go for this one.
You're going to have a lot of blue moons with this one.
How about you take $5 million? You got it.
Thank you. Can I get season tickets, too?
Right, shoot for the stars and settle for $100.
Big D's already negotiated the case. Paul Boyer, Breitbart. Ryan Kennedy, remember that name. The Detroit Lions fan allegedly grabbed by Steelers wide receiver DK Metcalf last year has filed a $100 million defamation suit against Shannon Sharpe and Chad Johnson. In December of last year, DK Metcalf, wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers, was suspended for 2 games after he engaged in conduct detrimental to the NFL for initiating a physical confrontation with a fan. Metcalf claimed that Ryan Kennedy used a racial slur, which Kennedy vehemently denied, according to Sports Illustrated. Kennedy filed suit against former NFL wide receiver Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, right? Media company, along with Shannon Sharpe for making disparaging remarks about Kennedy on the Nightcap podcast. The lawsuit also includes DK Metcalf and others. They threw them in there, too. The lawsuit alleges that Johnson, appearing on the widely viewed Nightcap podcast, co-hosted by Shannon Sharpe, falsely claimed that Kennedy called Metcalf the N-word and referred to Metcalf's mother using a vile misogynistic slur, statements that Kennedy categorically denied. lies and that no video audio evidence supports Joe Marco, Kennedy's attorney, said in a statement. Marco said the accusations against Kennedy were false and caused significant damage to his reputation and mortgage company. Apparently, the guy's a business owner. The false allegations, which were republished by major outlets, including ESPN, Yahoo, USA Today, etc., went viral across social media platforms with millions of views, branding Kennedy as a racist on a national scale and subjecting him to death threats, hate mail, and severe damage to his business reputation, Marco said. Following the incident at Ford Field, Kennedy held a press conference with his attorney, Sean Head, who said that his client suffered severe reputational harm, and after the assault, false accusations of racism and racial slurs were made publicly. As a result, Ryan Kennedy and his family have received threats. They've been harassed, and his business has been damaged. Repeating basically what they just said. We've asked that those false accusations be corrected. As of this morning, we have not received a response. Mr. Metcalf does have the ability to explain that was not said. So very interesting to see what happens. I think they'll probably get an apology and maybe a nice little check. I'm not sure. But that's crazy stuff, man. We'll see how that goes. And getting back to the Savannah Guthrie story, NBC's Mike Tirico is heartbroken over disappearance of Savannah Guthrie's mother. This is Ryan Gatos of Fox News. Longtime sportscaster Mike Tirico said Tuesday he was heartbroken over the disappearance of Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy, in Arizona, as he spoke to reporters ahead of Super Bowl 60. We know the story as far as what had happened, but Savannah Guthrie was actually set to cover the 2026 Milan Cortina Olympics for NBC. First and foremost, my heart breaks and our hearts break. It's been a pit in the stomach for 36 hours since we found out, Tirico said via TalkSport. Can't believe the situation. Lucky enough to work multiple Olympics with Savannah and get to know the Today Show team and sit in for Craig for a few days this past year. All those people, just highest professionals, but with highest personal regard. What you see on the set of Today's Show, those people are real, those people are special people, and we're just heartbroken and devastated and praying for Savannah and her entire family through this difficult time. And obviously we talked about it earlier, but the hearts are with her. And yes, she actually is obviously not going to be covering the Olympics, which start in about, a week? Not even less than a week. So crazy stuff, Big D. And that's a wrap in sports for now.
All right, Slick Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell, LFS 6B. I mean, the Guthrie story is just, man, to think that they targeted an 84-year-old woman.
That's what's most heartbreaking.
If that ends up being what happened and this whole ransom thing is true, is just frightening. It's just crazy. Can you even remember anything like this? A story or of someone who's that public on the biggest, one of the biggest morning shows for that many years, who's so well known, mother living so far away from where they obviously are and live and do their job, and they target an 84-year-old woman in her sleep and on the other side of the country. Man, I don't know. It's just crazy, right?
You know what? There's two ways of looking at this. And hopefully, and I say hopefully, that's the case. Because you don't want it to be something where somebody in the family had anything to do with this, right?
Yeah, of course.
That's why it sounds weird to say, but hopefully that's the case, that it was some people that are not affiliated with them, because that would be, the other scenario would be a million times worse.
So. Right. You said they investigated, or were back at the sister's house,
right?
You
back at the sister's house, removing some stuff. Who knows
what?
It was
obviously another sister, because that was a sister too, obviously.
Yeah.
Is there another sister?
No, there's two. There's her and her sister and her brother who just flew in. I guess he's a.
So the police were at the girl who was just on video with Savannah?
Is a sister.
Yeah. They were at her house again, Rick said today.
Yeah, they were.
Or yesterday, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Man.
That doesn't mean it was for nefarious reasons. They could have just been. Right, they've been to all of their houses.
They could have been trying to get DNA, whatever.
Whatever. I don't know. It's just disturbing, that story. All right, let's do some more headlines with Delgado. What's going on, Rick?
All right. Well, speaking of the big game coming up on this Sunday, President Trump, as Slick alluded to earlier, is going to be interviewed by NBC for the Super Bowl. Tradition of that the president usually does an interview just before Super Bowl. And keeping with that tradition, President Trump sat down with NBC's anchor Tom Lamas earlier today. We have a few of the clips. I'll get to at least one here before we have to break. Here is President Trump, cut number 6. Talking about the new Fed chairman and federal and the Fed and rates as well, interest rates. Hear what he had to say on this. Here's cut number 6. Check this out.
Is there any doubt in your mind that interest rates are going to be lowered?
Not much.
Why? How can you say that?
I just think they're going to be lowered. I mean, they should.
Is your new Fed pick on board with that?
We're way high. Okay, we're way high in interest.
Does your new Fed pick understand that you want him to lower interest rates?
Oh, I think he does, but I think he wants to anyway. I mean, if he came in and said, I want to raise them,
if he said that, he wouldn't have gotten the job.
He would not have gotten the job, no.
Just saying it out loud, man.
We have not talked about the fact that I missed out on, I think, what, 180,000 if I had bet him the first night I talked about it.
I talked about it.
You gotta be kidding me.
I talked about it Friday night when you were here. I was making fun of you.
Yeah,
you blew it.
I'd love to go back and look at that show. I can't remember when it was. It has to be, what, 5-6 months ago?
I think it was during the summer.
I think I went to Kalshi, and I think I put 10,000 in the bet, and, what you wanted to bet, and I think the return was 180,000.
I think it was September, October-ish.
Ugh.
You could always do a parlay.
You missed it by an ish. It was 180,000 ish.
Go with your heart, Damon.
Give it take.
Go with
give it take.
Or so.
13 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. We're back right after this.
At the ring. So, Delgado, in the YouTube chat, you got an admirer. I got cut off before because we were showing the Hispanic Guthrie. Sky N4Z says, tell Delgado, she said, Rick, not even slick. Rick, tell Delgado I think he's cute. So, Sky N4Z thinks you're cute.
I
did my job.
I feel like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Well, yeah.
She thinks I'm cute.
She thinks I'm cute.
Is that shit? Do they put that on anymore or not?
Yeah, nobody loves a Charlie in the box.
Or what a gun
that squirts jelly. Or a cowboy that rides an ostrich. I can do voiceovers. Schlick. That wasn't bad.
That wasn't bad. I can't believe you remembered it squirts jelly.
I want to be a dentist.
I know. Why do you think I don't have to go blow my sock then? It's awesome.
It like blows up.
I'm blowing up my ass, on my feet. From waist down, I'm hot.
Charles Livingston, Sky is a dude, Rick.
Oh. He thinks I'm cute.
He looks like Don Knotts.
Slick, you making coffee? Want to make me one?
Oh, you got no cups? All right, we got a $5. Did you get this? $5 super chat in the YouTube from Bill Moore, 8771. Bill Moore, $5 super chat. Happy 48th anniversary to our dear friend Les Durham and his lovely wife. God bless the two of you, and may he grant you many more. So, happy 48th, Les Durham and wife. And Bill Moore, thanks for the $5 super chat.
Ooh. Hey, Dave. Want a small coffee in a mug?
Yeah, sure.
What kind? Hazelnut?
Whatever you make, Slick.
Make it with love.
Fran?
Sarge says, make your own coffee, Big D.
Well, if I knew I didn't have a read here, I would have. I rushed back because I figured I had to do the read. Ba-ba-da-da. 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Wednesday night. Rick Delgado was doing headlines. He only got to one of his videos, President Trump's interview he gave to NBC, where, well, we'll wait and see what the reaction is to it as more of those clips hit social media.
I thought you had to read.
Can't imagine. No, I don't. That's what I said. I could have made my coffee. I can't imagine too many conservatives are going to think that's a great idea, but I guess we'll wait and see. What else, Delgado, happened in this interview?
Well, let's see. President Trump talked about various different things that he covered. I only grabbed a couple of them, some of the ones that jumped out at me. Here he is, cut number 7, talking about Iran and the protesters when being asked by Tom Lamas about whether the protesters can count on the U.S. Here is cut 7, President Trump, in that interview that's going to be airing on Super Bowl Sunday. Check this out, cut 7.
Should the supreme leader in Iran be worried right now?
I would say he should be very worried, yeah. He should be. As you know, they're negotiating with us.
I know they are, but the protesters have said, where are the Americans? You promised them we would have their back. Do we still have their back?
We've had their back, and look, that country's a mess right now because of us. We went in, we wiped out their nuclear.
Yeah, so there he is talking about Iran. He went into more detail about, of course, taking on the Iranians if they try and set up another nuclear facility. He mentioned that as well. Of course, he is also a longtime friend of Patriots owner Robert Kraft. Says he'll be watching the team play in the Super Bowl from afar. He says when talking about some of the things going on revolving the musical performers at the Super Bowl, the president noted he's not a fan of them. I'm anti them, he said, though he stressed that is not the reason for avoiding the game. I think it's a terrible choice. All it does is sow hatred, and it's terrible, according to the president. Speaking of other things that he covered, here is cut number 8, President Trump talking about immigration and crime and how things have been going with this interview from NBC. Tom Lamas, check this out, cut 8.
That big change on immigration, 700 officers leaving Minneapolis. Did that come from you?
Yes, it did. But it didn't come from me because I just wanted to do it. We are waiting for them to release prisoners, give us the murderers that they're holding, and all of the bad people, drug dealers, all of the bad people. We allowed in our country, I say 25 million people with an open border policy for 4 years under Biden and that group, the Autopen group, I call them. We allowed to come into our country people the likes of which no country would accept, and we're getting them out. Yeah. But we've gotten a lot of them out. So crime now in Minnesota, crime now in Minneapolis is down. Crime in all cities is down. And you know why it's down? It's down because of us. It's down in Chicago by 25%, despite the fact that we are always dealing with these people, and they happen to be Democrats, that don't know anything about crime prevention.
Yeah, so there he is talking about the immigration, the crime numbers, how crime is coming down around the country. And when you're talking about immigration, he mentions some of the things that have changed in Minneapolis.
I'm noticing a melding of local crime into immigration. You notice that?
Immigrants commit local crime.
And the crime numbers all way down.
Yeah.
90% of it, right?
Here is cut number 9. Here is Tom Homan talking about what's going on in Minneapolis now that he's arrived on the scene. And again, when he makes certain comments here, I just have to think that somebody he or President Trump showed those guys a picture of their house. Cut number 9. Check this out.
We currently have an unprecedented number of counties communicating with us now and allowing ICE to take custody of illegal aliens before they hit the streets. Unprecedented cooperation. And I'll say it again. This is efficient, requires only 1 or 2 officers to assume custody of a criminal alien target rather than 8 or 10 officers going into the community and arresting that public safety threat. This frees up more officers to arrest or remove criminal aliens. More officers taking custody of criminal aliens directly from the jails means less officers on the street doing criminal operations. This is smart law enforcement, not less law enforcement.
Yeah, so there he is backing up basically what he's been talking about. He was a lot harsher later on in his interview with Laura Ingraham on another network there, Damon. He really kind of laid the hammer down when he was talking about some of the things that they've been doing over there, and basically backed it up by saying this is not, we're not doing less. We're working smarter. We're working just as hard. And like he said, he's getting unprecedented cooperation, something I don't think 2 weeks ago you would have seen coming out of Minneapolis up until now. So pretty interesting.
Okay. I mean, I don't buy it. It just looks like a big softening to me. I mean, that's what it looks like. I think that's the way most conservatives will look at it.
I don't know.
The nomenclature, as soon as the nomenclature starts changing, which happened like 3 weeks ago, all of a sudden it's now, it's the criminal. They have to have committed another crime since they committed the first crime of coming here.
They've been saying that since
everybody's going to look at it differently, I guess. It just clearly, to me, looks like just a big shift.
I don't think so, because Hellman's been pretty steady. They've always said they're going to focus on the criminals, right? He wants that to be the thing. If they pick them up and they're with other illegals... You
mean the two-time criminals?
They're
all criminals.
Too. They're all criminals, right.
I mean, that's the kind of the idea.
But they said they're going to start... Didn't they say, and you can go back and look at for the last year, they've been talking about, we're going to go after the bad ones first. And scoop them up.
It's like, I object. Well, I strenuously object. You strenuously object.
Oh, in that case.
No, the criminals. No, the criminals.
Time's going to tell.
Time's going to tell.
So, look, that's the reason why they put a poly market on everything.
Yeah. All right, what else, Delgado?
All right, well, Scott Bessent, one of our favorites, was up on the Hill. You want to take a stab at what they tried to do to him today?
Sure. I bet it didn't, without even knowing what this is going to be, I bet it didn't go too well for them.
It didn't go too well for them at all. As he
could have guessed.
He was dealing with Democratic members of the House Financial Services Committee as they lobbed criticism at the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent. Among those, some of the smartest, the brightest Democrats you could just imagine had some great questions. They came from states like California and New York. As a matter of fact, here he is having a quite pleasant discussion. Cut number 10 with Maxine Waters, the Democrat from California. Cut number 10. Check this out.
In my time
was a mass immigration.
Mr. Chair, we let him know that when I asked
Tom does belong to the housing woman from California. 10 and 20 million immigrants
Can you
took up the housing stock for working Americans. And can you maintain some level of dignity? Gentleman's time has expired.
No, my time has not expired.
Your time has expired. The
gentleman took up my time. I think you should recognize that, Mr. Chair.
The gentlewoman's time has expired.
The gentlewoman's time has expired. So there's
nothing gentle about that woman.
Nothing gentle about Maxine Waters. And then after he was done with Maxine Waters, here he is schooling her on how economics actually works. Damon, cut number 11.
Here we go.
Check this out.
I believe the ranking member does not understand the definition of generalized inflation versus one-time price increases. I would also note that housing, especially for working Americans, a Wharton study has shown that the mass unfettered immigration, adding 10 to 20 million new people demanding housing, Congresswoman, is what caused a great deal of housing inflation for working Americans. So you and the Biden administration should be ashamed.
Yeah.
Good for you, Scott.
And by the way, your time has expired.
Scott Bessent against anyone on the whole damn panel is an unfair fight.
Yeah. I got a couple more clips we can get to after the break if you want to.
I think a wig expired.
Maxine can't balance her checkbook. She's arguing about fiscal responsibility. That's good stuff.
Gotta love her, though.
See ya.
Maybe not. All right, 26 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. We'll do some more news with Bo Nolan, Rick Delgado, Sports and Slick, all coming up.
Come out.
like they're not getting
a little
rid of
trombone there, Rick.
Is because they don't want to see the housing market collapse.
Huh?
Part of me feels like one of the reasons there, because there's got to be like so many reasons on why they.
You got to admire her, Rick.
Not just one willy-nilly decision.
Sky Z.
Right? If they did get everybody out, the housing market would collapse. Well,
Laura Jean
would go down 20%.
Laura Jean, come on.
Hey, Damon.
I would say 20%. It's a lot.
Turnpike man says she looks like she got a new wig. I think he's right. I was saying the same thing.
All that low-income housing is gobbled up by these people, locked into these houses, and it's paid for by the government.
Shut up.
That's what she was trying to say. It's like Nancy.
$300,000 starter house is gone.
I was looking for that. Shut up. If you would have had that then, that would have been priceless.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
I know.
Sounds like a drunk grandmother, doesn't it?
Hey Damon, Laura Jean in the Facebook says, I guess in reference to Mad Max, isn't that Crazy Town material?
That's the original Crazy Town. She is the inspiration.
You talking about James
Crazy
Brown
Town.
screaming on the Senate floor?
Yeah, Rick, here's a little conspiracy in the YouTube chat. PJ20 Rocks. Sister has gambling debts. I think they're referring to Guthrie's sister. She has gambling debts.
Oh, my God, really?
Somebody just said that in the chat. So, interesting. I didn't see it in the news, but one of our followers, PJ20 Rocks. So, I don't know can you give us the source? That's interesting. Very interesting. Rick, you might be onto something. Let's hope not.
Which chat broke the scoop?
The YouTubes. Oh, Sky and 4Z. Slick Rick, someone told Delgado I'm a boy, but I'm a girl. He won't be interested.
Delgado. Come on.
What are you talking?
Thank God Aaron got that one.
Shut up, Aaron.
I hope Real Prince doll didn't hear you saying that.
What?
I'm a girl, because he's going to clip it and mess with you.
Oh, that's all right.
Where's Real Prince these days?
I don't know.
Shut up.
Shut up.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice, all across the country. Glad you're in on a Wednesday night. Slick's doing sports. Delgado's doing news. Paul Nolan going to do some more news as well. Aaron Fran holding it down. Please welcome our friend back to the show, precious metal specialist from our friends over at the Birch Gold Group, Philip Patrick. Mr. Patrick, how are you?
I'm doing well, guys. How are you?
We're doing good. I don't know if you heard the show earlier, but about 6 months ago, when it was down to about 4 people for the Federal Reserve job, I went on to Kalshi and made the prediction that Kevin Warsh would be the winner. And at the time, I think if I put 10,000 on Kevin Warsh, it returned 180,000 at the time.
Paul thinks it's
And
more.
did I do it? Of course not. I did not. And here he is now looking with the job. So, I'm a little bitter on that. 180 grand at the time.
If he had 10 grand, he'd stay up all night and stare at it.
Yeah, I never would have done it, obviously.
He'd take it out for dinner. Buying flowers.
So let's get to Kevin here in his.
He won't even take us to Vegas.
Yeah, no.
Oh, we went to the Sphere.
We'll get to Kevin here in a second, but let's talk about. Obviously, nothing goes up and to the right all the time. As much as when you're invested in the market, that's what you want to see. But it's really actually unhealthy when that happens. So, obviously, gold has had quite the run. Silver, quite the run. Obviously, they pulled back a little bit Friday. Gold price nearly about 10%. Silver down about 30%. What happened that day? Other than is that just a healthy retrace? What do you think?
Yeah, I think ultimately it was that. I thought I was having a bad week until I heard your story, Damon. Look, we got to say this plainly. This was a violent sell-off, and I think anyone pretending otherwise just isn't being honest. But what violent sell-offs don't mean is that the fundamentals have changed, and they have not. What I got from this is Positioning got extreme, right? Precious metals have gone parabolic in the last 12 months, as we've been talking. That led to big leverage in gold and silver futures from hedge funds and investment banks. Then we see the short-term speculators pile in. And when the context changes, it's the leverage that gets flushed out first. And I think that's what we saw. What we haven't seen is, a sell-off from long-term buyers and holders of gold and silver. They are very much staying firm. So I think the investment case has not changed at all. It's just prices that have changed. But as you point out, listen, we saw a 30% retracement in silver. It's still up over 11% for the year. We're just over a month in. Gold's up about 8%. So this, for me, was a welcome retracement. Nothing has changed in terms of fundamentals.
Yeah, and I love people, like you say, people want to attribute moves like this to the news, but most real analysts will say, show me the chart and I'll tell you the news. I don't need to see the news to see the chart. It's the reverse. Usually the news doesn't affect the chart. The chart goes where the chart's going to go. Like you said, a healthy retrace, especially after that run. A lot of headlines did point to Kevin Warsh saying, it's about this new selection. Do you think that, what do you think about that?
I'm with you. I'm skeptical that sort of one nomination leads to a 30% crash in silver. If Warsh had suddenly changed the outlook for monetary policy, we would have seen it first in government debt prices and interest rate futures. Didn't happen. Debt costs barely responded. Rate cut probabilities have basically stayed the same, and the dollar rose very modestly, not explosively. What it tells us is that this wasn't a wholesale repricing of monetary policy. Everything did not change. I think the war story worked as a good headline excuse, but not the explanation. I think it may have been the spark, but leverage was the fuel. Once the Fed decision looked locked in, I think speculators took profits. So it's that simple.
Yeah. Well, while we're talking about him, let's stick on Kevin Warsh for a second. And again, I don't think any one individual ever really affects these markets. I think you can look back at a lot of markets and people say, "Whoa, look who just got elected," or "Look who's coming into this," or "Look at this legislation that they're finally going to get behind." And in the end, people think it's going to be positive and it ends up being negative, or nothing, and people think it's going to be negative and it ends up being positive. You can't really attribute that. But speaking of Kevin Warsh, what do you personally think? Hawk, dove, good for the dollar, bad for the dollar? What's your personal feeling?
Look, I don't think he's a cartoon villain, and I don't think he's the savior either. What he is obviously a former Fed governor. He's experienced. He's a crisis era insider. He was in and around the 2008 great financial crisis. And we know in theory he's a balance sheet hawk. He's criticized QE, which is encouraging. He doesn't like the Fed's history of meddling in the markets. And he's, wary of sort of how the Fed have driven huge wealth disparity in the United States. So all of that sounds bullish for the dollar, and it sounds somewhat bearish for gold. But the reality is this. First of all, the Fed governor is one vote out of 12. Even if Waller and Mirren vote for lower rates, they haven't got a majority. The bigger issue, and I think this was what you were implying in the lead up, even if Warsh wants discipline, that discipline has to come from Congress, who are borrowing trillions of dollars, the Treasury issuing mountains of debt, and the markets still ultimately define the effective funds rate of all that debt. Even the best Fed chair in the world can't strengthen the dollar if Congress can't get spending under control. Obviously, I want Kevin Warsh to succeed, but his success would require something we've never seen before, and that is a disciplined monetary policy without matching discipline in spending and debt issuance. And this is something that has never coexisted in history. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but I think more and more unlikely.
Yeah, well, I guess last Friday would pile on to that theory, given that the Republicans, who are, I guess, in charge, just piled on another $2 trillion onto the debt to push it to $40 trillion with Biden era level spending. So there's literally no difference in the spending at all from the end of Biden's term into this term so far. So I guess we kind of talked about it, but I guess so your outlook on precious metals due to the sell-off and kind of the whole story of that right now for everyday Americans. Any other big takeaways? You don't think it's changed kind of that scenario and the outlook for where we're going?
No, I really don't. Look, we know what didn't change, and that is global debt levels, structural revenue deficits here in the United States, population demographics, and productivity. And it didn't stop central banks buying gold either. So no, right? Gold didn't go up in 70% last year because it was trendy. It rose because confidence in paper promises broadly has sort of eroded. That's not going anywhere. I think what we saw was a correction after a crowded run-up, which is not unusual. It's not unhealthy. In fact, flushing out leverage often makes a bull market more durable. Like I said, we got to get some context. This huge drop in gold prices gave back just 6 days worth of gains. We're still up over 68% in the last 12 months. So I think the fundamentals haven't changed. And I think you summed it up better than anything at the beginning. Even the Republicans can't get a handle on spending. This problem has gotten out of control. Neither side of the aisle knows what to do. And as long as that's the case, gold and silver are going to continue to go up longer term.
And if you want to see if gold and silver is right for you, of course, reach out to our friends at Birch Gold. Text America to 989898. Text America to 989898. Philip Patrick, always a pleasure to have you on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Damon. Cheers, guys.
All right. Have a good rest of your night. Philip Patrick there from our friends at Birch Gold. Text America to 989898 if you want to see if gold and silver is right for you, or at least part of a balanced portfolio. And, man, he's right on the money with the leverage part of what we talked about there. Market makers, just when they see that kind of leverage and they see people piling in on leverage trades, that's where you get those kind of drops. They just say, we're not doing that. And then they work it the other way, and they bring it to where they want, and then they leverage the other way, and they go, now they're going the other way. So... all right, great stuff with Philip Patrick. Again, text America to 989898. Paul Nolan, lawmakers grill Netflix, Warner Brothers execs. What's going on with that?
Now, huh? That's a little curveball. Okay, I thought we were going to Luna, but yeah, I don't know if you saw this today. Josh Hawley went on the offensive, and this Warner Brothers Netflix merger would give them kind of a large share, almost in a monopoly range. We always see the collusion of power through these media outlets controlling narratives. And I really like the way Josh Hawley handled himself today. I like Delgado's reaction to this.
Why is it that so much of Netflix content for children promotes a transgender ideology? Almost half of your content for children, I'm talking about minor children now, I'm not talking about teenagers, minor children, promotes a transgender ideology agenda. I was just looking at the data here from your various series. And what concerns me is just 2 days ago, a jury in New York awarded a former transitioner $2 million because she said that her psychologists and others pressured her into, they pushed on her an ideology that proved to be extremely detrimental. I'm sure you know that in the UK, the National Health Service in the UK has said that they're not going to perform transgender surgeries or any longer so-called gender-affirming care for minors, including in counseling, because it is so incredibly detrimental. Our own HHS has come forward with similar findings this past year, yet if you turn on Netflix, you'll find that an enormous amount, and I say this as a parent with 3 young children, an enormous amount of your children's programming has this ideology and agenda in it. Is this an advocacy position for Netflix? Is this an ideological commitment you have? I mean, why is this?
Senator Ali, Netflix has no political agenda of any kind. I would tell you that.
Well, then why is your children's program so full of this highly sexualized, highly controversial agenda? I don't understand it. It seems strange to me.
Respectfully, sir, it's because it's inaccurate. We have millions of hours of children's programming.
You're saying it's not there. You don't have trans. You don't feature trans characters, trans storylines, trans themes. It's not in your programming.
I'm saying we feature a wide variety of stories and programs to meet a wide variety of people's tastes.
Why is almost half of it? Why does almost half of your children's program feature this highly controversial, highly sexualized material? That just seems strange to me. It can't possibly be a reflection of the population.
Senator Hawley, I don't have any idea where that number would come from or what that would be. I don't believe that's been your personal experience. but I can't speak to that.
Well, what do you mean you don't think it's been my personal experience? You don't think that I monitor what my children watch on your... Here's what I tell you what my personal experience is since you bring it up. My personal experience is that my 3 children, I can't let them watch anything they want on Netflix. I can't let them watch anything on Netflix unless I preview it.
Wow.
A koala bear in a suit, stunned by...
It always amazes me, these guys go into these hearings against guys like Hawley and Cruz, and they know they're going to go up against guys who are attorneys and know how to question a witness, and they go in so ill-prepared, and then all they do is they do this lame, like, oh, I don't know.
He's like, me? You talking to me?
Hey, I bet.
I think because truly he didn't know. Because he's just like, I'm just running Netflix.
No way.
Right?
No.
Come on. What do you mean?
No, I mean, when I talk about that, I don't think he realized how much
he's
was
in every
there.
board meeting. He knows where the money's coming from and who it's going to. He's no way.
No, but I'm talking about the programming itself. When it gets down to that stuff that they're coming up with, it's just like, oh yeah, that's going to be this guy's handling that. Great. This is what these guys do. And then all of a sudden, when you hit them with details like that, they're like,
no way.
I didn't.
No way. He's in on it.
All right.
He's in on it. Cruz had a good day there too, though. And Cruz kicked some butt today.
All right, live from Studio 6B. We're back right after this.
Yeah. She always dreamed about going to Gobbler's Knob. I don't know why.
She wasn't bobbing for apples?
Nope.
Oh, boy.
No, I think sometimes these guys just show up thinking, oh, we're just going to talk about how to make this merger happen. And they're like, I didn't know we were going to talk about this. How come you guys didn't give me my information? You know what I mean? That's what I mean.
Yeah. That guy did look like a really wealthy koala bear. He has just had that dead stare. Oh, my God.
Because he started quoting them numbers. Like, numbers? Crap. Did you bet? You make the bet?
I had all bet. Not a minute later, breakaway. I texted Paul and Vin. God's honest truth. I love Horvat, man.
Dave, you'll be happy. I did a live bet.
That was another steal by Lou, huh? He fleeced Vancouver on
phenomenal. I like this Darsh guy. He's so far so good. Huh?
He's the perfect.
Isn't he? And him and Roy, I think they're fantastic together. I like Patrick Roy, the Islanders coach. He used to play for the Canadians, one of the greatest, right?
You mean
he played
Patrick
for Colorado?
Roy.
I said Roy.
That's not Roy. It's Patrick Roy.
You know, he named his son Hip Hip. Roy.
It's not Roy. Patrick Roy.
I call him Patrick Roy. I always did. Listen, Nike. Tomato. Delgado lives for that.
Dude, anytime you'll do it. You'll do it during the
Patrick
story. You'll say Nike, and then all of a sudden you'll say Nike.
I know.
It's like the weirdest thing.
I know. Nike rhymes with.
It's like, what is he saying?
Bubby Sims on the getter chat.
That's right, Aaron. That's the way to cover me.
Rav Mod 3. And
Bubby Sims is in there? I love Bubby Sims. Come on, Bubby Sims. Come on.
GRH 4345 says, I like Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus is great.
I haven't tried.
I'm watching Mobland right now.
Steph 44.
Did we even you and I talk about the Patty Gaethje fight? We did talk about it a little bit on the show.
We could talk. to the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's try to get to everybody one more time. We'll start with Slick. Let's do some sports. Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell. Slickster, what's going on?
I can't believe we didn't talk about the Pro Bowl last night. It was on. We missed it. The Pro Bowl. Football. First time ever. They did it during the week of the... guys, come on.
You mean flag football?
Flag football, yes, sir. Jalen Hurts leads NFC past AFC in high-scoring Pro Bowl game. This is Fox News. Jalen Hurts said the flag football played in the Pro Bowl games doesn't have the negative connotation that it may have once had, as you guys were starting to refer to. If anything, Hurts believes the NFL's All-Star exhibition is as competitive as ever. It's like being a kid again, but it also turns competitive with everything that is at stake. The Eagles quarterback said after throwing 3 touchdown passes, and the NFC is ready for the score, 66-52 win over the AFC on Tuesday night. Even with the 2028 Olympics, there's a lot of guys that have a great passion to go out there and represent, because in 2028 we're going to have flag football in the Olympics, which is going to be pretty cool, I think. There was plenty of representation from both sides in the high-scoring event, which was played indoors this year at the Moscone Center, a convention center near downtown San Francisco, before a crowd of 3,100. It was the first time the Pro Bowl was held during Super Bowl week, and the host city was well represented with the 49ers greats Jerry Rice and Steve Young, who have a combined 20 Pro Bowl selections, serving as the head coaches. The Super Bowl is Sunday, obviously, at Santa Clara in Levi Stadium. Dak Prescott, the great Dak Prescott of the Cowboys, wore a bucket hat and passed for 4 touchdowns. No comments. While the Lions' Jared Goff threw 2 touchdown passes. For the AFC, the Bengals' Joe Burrow threw for a touchdown and was credited with a passing and receiving score on the same play when he and Dolphins running back Devon Achane pulled off a trick play in the first half. So it was a good game. NFC coming out with a big win. I would have bet the NFC and the odds makers, but we didn't even talk about the game last night, which was really weird. And, one more quick story for the Islanders here, Paul. Bird becomes hockey guy at UBS Arena. Sparks Islanders overtime win. This is Matt Regal of Outkick Sports. Love this story. It's not unusual to see wildlife interrupt the sporting event, but it's when that sport is played inside most of the time. However, that's what we got on Tuesday night when a bird decided to check out New York Islanders game at UBS Arena. Your bird barely sings. The Islanders took on the Pittsburgh Penguins on Tuesday night in an important Metropolitan Division class, as these two teams are neck and neck in the standings. With just over a minute left in the first period with the game knotted at 1, a small bird proved it's a certified hockey guy by hanging around to catch the final minute of action while others were off to grab another beer and take a leak or both. And here we go, Aaron. Run cut 16. Show my little sparrow over here.
Here with 69 seconds left. Whoa. There's a...
You see him skate into the bird when he scored?
Yes, I know. This is crazy.
Seconds left.
Whoa. This is the only clip we got. But we had a bird. I'm telling you, a bird in hand is worth 2 in the bush. That's something fantastic.
He comes behind the net, shoots in, his knee hits the bird, makes the pass in front, they score, and then the bird takes off to the corner camera. It was really funny.
Well, he's got a bird's eye view, and the Islanders turned out they won that game in overtime. Big game for the Islanders. Maybe we got that lucky bird. Help us out, Paul. I know a lot of the rest were getting the birds for bad calls, but that was a different kind of bird. That's a wrap in sports. Big D, back to you.
All right, 10 minutes to the hour, live from Studio 6B. Paulie Nolan, what else is on your news radar? Anything we need to cover?
If I could just plug my X, guys, give me a follow. I don't have a radio show. I don't have a TV show, but I got a X page, and I'm trying to build that up. And what I'll do is I'll watch those 3-hour documentaries, and I'll condense them into a 3, 4, 5 minute read, so you don't have to spend all that time. So I'm Paul_Eggs Nolan. Please give me a follow. I follow back when we interact. And I got one more clip, and it's Rick Delgado's favorite girl, Polina Luna, talking about the SAVE Act.
That I'm not so happy to report is that the votes do not exist in the Senate among Republican senators to remove the filibuster. But that is why the standing filibuster is so important. And I know you do not have the votes currently to remove the filibuster on your own. But that is why the standing filibuster is so important, and you know that. And so what I will say is that even though Schumer is trying to make it look like everyone that wants voter ID is racist, I'm sure you've seen the polling, Leader Thune, and you see that the national voter ID is actually a wildly bipartisan issue. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, people want it. And so this is one of the top issues in our country right now. Please restore the people's faith in our election process. It's incredibly important. But I also know that I talked to Speaker Johnson, and we will be passing what we can out of the House on the Save America Act. However, there are vehicles that we can attach this to. We understand that the position that you are in, and that there are many moderate Republican members who might not necessarily believe in this, to include all the Democrats in the Senate that literally just said they want mass amnesty and no voter ID, but it has to happen. And so I look forward to these continued discussions that you will be having. I know that the president is behind behind this. I know that the Speaker of the House is behind this, and I know many members of the Republican conference here in the House are behind this. So I hope that you take this as me not trying to publicly bully you, but simply being transparent with the American people. And I look forward to securing these wins for the American people.
Yeah, 82% of the public agree on voter ID, and meanwhile, Chucky Schmucky Schumer is calling it Jim Crow.
Yeah, Jim Crow 2.0. And what do you call it? What was I was about to say something on.
You having a Biden moment?
I'm having a Biden moment. I guess as according to this from the Babylon Bee, suspicious voter ID bill defeated in Senate by a vote of 7 million to 53. So it's never going to pass, I don't think, with those kind of numbers.
That's good.
Hey, before we get to Delgado to wrap it up, let's just put this up. The president on Truth about 50 minutes ago. I spoke with Savannah Guthrie, and I let her know that I am directing all federal law enforcement to be at the families and local law enforcement's complete disposal immediately. We are deploying all resources to get her mother home safely. The prayers of a nation are with her and her family. God bless and protect Nancy, President Donald Trump. And let's hope that if they can be of any help with resources to find this poor woman, hopefully they can.
Yeah, and Pima County is a small, they don't have the resources. So I know they're taking advantage of what the state is offering them there in Arizona, but also, of course, anything from the feds is going to be welcomed.
I just hope they put that video out for a reason.
Yeah.
Because it had some very specific language in it that I wouldn't think they would have just done to do. I would have thought that there was a very good reason they're doing that.
Yep.
So, all right, Delgado, wrap us up. What else is in the news? Anything?
Right. Well, this one.
Trump endorsed Teixeira, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Mark
nice.
Teixeira.
Good. Nah, he's a great guy.
Very good. This
Yankee.
one is going to hit. It's talking about hitting a home run. This could hit a home run for people or not. Definitely, Paul. I think you'll be interested in this one. As the TSA could hit some travelers with a new $45 fee. You heard it. That's right. You're supposed to get your real ID, that thing that was signed into law, 20 years ago, to make sure that everybody was compliant, or you have to use your passport to fly. Well, now they've come out with a new way to get around it, and it's only going to cost you $45. Travelers who arrive at U.S. airports without their real ID, Damon, they're going to be able to fly anyway, as long as they do a few things like open up their wallets and pay $45. The change known as Confirm ID now took effect on February 1st. It's going to help verify passengers' identities while allowing those without proper documentation to continue traveling. Wow, this sounds like show us your papers. The new fee will offset the cost of extra screening required for passengers who do not present a real ID, passport, or other acceptable identification. Here is who do we have talking about this? I had it someplace. Cut 14. Here's CNN's Pete Montine doing a quick grab on this. TSA's new money grab, Cut 14. Check this out.
Well, okay, 20 years since Real ID was signed into law, started being enforced 7 months ago, May 7th. Now, not only would those without Real ID have to pay, but they could be surprised by this new rule at maybe the worst possible time, in line at a TSA checkpoint. Worse yet, the agency says this whole process could take you an extra half hour. Talk about a bad travel day.
Wow.
The Trump administration just made this new announcement. Those who have not yet been to their state DMV to update their license will have to log on to a new TSA web portal, verify who they say they are, and then pay a $45 fee. That fee valid for 10 days. So theoretically, it can be used for your return trip as well. But the TSA says if you try to fly after that 10-day window, you'll have to pay the $45 fee again.
Woo.
Awesome.
I just got the license.
As always, we salute our military, active and active, police, firefighters, first responders, all of our emergency personnel, all law enforcement. Again, hopefully they can help find this poor woman. Thanks, guys, on the show. Aaron, Fran, great job as always. Most of all, thank you. Live from Studio 6B audience. Enjoy the rest of your night, everybody. We're back tomorrow night. Same place, same channel, 8 p.m. live from Studio 6B. We'll see you then.
activity, and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
America's in a fight for her soul. Our freedoms are under attack. Our values are being torn down, and the same corrupt elites who built this mess think they can silence us. The patriots who still believe in this country, not a chance. Here at Real America's Voice, we're standing shoulder to shoulder with AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, a movement that says we will not be silenced.
There is no force on earth that can stop us from saving our country.
The voice of millions of patriots who refuse to kneel to tyranny. This is the movement of fighters, men and women who still believe in God, family, and the American dream. The conservative alternative to AARP.
Real rights, they come from God.
If you're ready to stand up and join the fight, go to amac.us/RAV right now. That's amac.us/RAV, because this isn't just about politics.